Thanks for joining No Movies in Hell. I'm Chris Geiger.
I'm LaCroix Scott. This is episode 22.
I think so.
Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
So I had never heard of this movie until you and Adam mentioned it in your honorable mentions.
Oh, really?
Best of 2021. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's very interesting.
Was it out in theaters?
No. So it was supposed to be out in theaters, but was delayed due to COVID. And then they ended up releasing it on streaming. I don't think I've ever seen like an actual trailer for the film. I think I heard about it, maybe word of mouth, like, oh, there's this movie coming out. Oh, that's probably how. From friends who work in the entertainment industry, I think they had gotten a screener of this film early last year and said, when you get the chance to see this film, you will love it. And it's called Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. So it was kind of like given a heads up, and then it was released on Hulu. It's a treat. I'm a big fan of Kristen Wiig. I think that she is hilarious. And this is the first time I'm seeing Annie Momolo. I hope I'm pronouncing her last name right. As a star as well of this. And it's also interesting to see Jamie Dornan as in this character too. So it's really a treat.
Right. There were so many people in it. Like the cameos were great. And I think I liked those are some of the best moments. The crab on the beach is great. Yeah. Jamie Dornan, I watched him there was a series, was it on Hulu or Netflix? But it was with Gillian Anderson, where he plays like this serial killer. It's such a dark movie. And then I saw him in Belfast, which is great.
Yeah.
But I had never really seen him in anything funny. And so
I'm same.
Yeah, the fact that he was able to like make fun of kind of the fact that he is so good looking and he's a very talented singer, right? He sings in a lot of his stuff. So I was like, oh, this is great. Like it was, I had like Austin Powers sort of throwbacks to Dr. Evil. It was fun. The kid on the bike, the yo-yo.
Oh my gosh, the opening scene is amazing. I was like, I didn't know what to expect. It was just like this kid is belting out this Diana Ross song. And I was like, how did you know this? And then afterward, he gets scanned to go into a tree. I was just like, I couldn't process for a little bit. And then it just kind of cuts to like these Midwestern women and their friendship, and then like how they're just comfortable in their, doing their norm, and then their norm gets disrupted, and it's like, hey, go to Vista Del Mar in Florida.
Right. The woman who tells them about Vista Del Mar is the woman from, I recognized her from Reno 911.
Yes.
And then the women who are in the talking group, like they were hilarious. Gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vanessa Bayer. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting some folks, but yes, it's like people you see in like comedy, or like they're kind of the tertiary characters, and they were just so mean.
I know. And then of course Tommy Bahama when she runs into him.
Oh my gosh, I loved it. Andy Garcia.
Right. Take my very calloused hand.
But I just didn't. I love it. I just didn't get how like they weren't open about kind of what they wanted to do, or and they had to lie to each other about like the adventures that Barb would go on, and that Star's relationship with the Jamie Dornan character. Just like, hey, how's it going? I'm fine. They wouldn't disclose. It was great. But the musical scene when they go to the hotel was just over the top. It's so good.
And the hotel that they end up in, the motel across the street, also great. Yeah, I mean, so many great things strung together. And I not to bag on Don't Look Up, but I could see so many opportunities for really funny comic things in that. And in this, I was not expecting anything. And it was hilarious. Like they had so many different, seemingly disjointed things strung together. Like who would have thought the crab would be a thing? Or like who would have thought, there's so many things where you're just like, really? Alligators? Okay.
Or their hours long conversation about Trish.
Right. And then who Trish really is, you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. It's so great.
Right. Well, let's pull up our score. So where did we have differences? Story, you gave it a 3, I gave it a 2.
And soundtrack.
All right, so pretty close though on everything else.
I like the story. I thought it was, yes, it is a little nonsensical and very, very whimsical, but it's so, I don't know. It's inspiring. These two ladies, they have things happen to them. Then ultimately their passion, which is their job at Jennifer Convertibles of all places, gets thrown away. And then they have to figure out like last minute, like how they want to change their life and like what they want to do when they want to go to Vista Del Mar and promised land of all these things. And then they have a great time. And then you have this villain that's like very upset about, of course, things that happened when they were a child, which was pretty horrible, but there's no rationalization or reason. And it was just, you had no idea where it was going to go and how things were going to come back to like repeat itself or integrate itself later on. It was just like, oh, that happened, or oh, this is going on. And it's just, you just have to like see how it goes. And I like that element of surprise.
I agree. I think the only reason I gave it a 2 and not a 3 is because I did think it had so many other things to draw from, right? Like it was a little Austin Powers-ish on this storyline, and it was a little bit Spring Break-ish on this storyline, and it was a little bit, so I felt like it was great the way they all came together. But if it was something that, if they were completely new storylines that I had never seen before, I feel like that would have been a 3. But I kind of felt like I knew where each of them was going to end up, even though how they got there and the different things that were thrown in to get there were definitely unexpected.
Yeah. And I like the soundtrack. Like, I really thought that it was really interesting that they opened with Diana Ross song, and especially like a little kid. So he's like 50 years removed from this song, and they have him like belting it out as he's doing his newspaper route. Just great. And the whole like the hotel sequence of like welcome to Vista Del Mar, and even like the piano player and all the inappropriate songs that he would play. I mean, it's probably not part of the soundtrack. I thought it was great. Yeah, it was great. Singing extras, like it all. It's so campy. I love it.
We were talking before about like vanity projects and who do I want to work with, and so I mean you definitely saw elements of that here, right? Like I want to work with Morgan Freeman.
For sure.
I'm going to write this part just for him. And I want to work with Andy Garcia. I'm going to write this part just for him. And so
I know, right?
Yeah.
Or I want to work with Jamie Dornan. Like I'm going to write him as the romantic.
Yeah, for sure. You saw, but it's done well. It's all in service of the movie and making it funny versus just like, I want to work with this person, so I'm going to write this thing. Like you see where people do that and it doesn't work. You're just like, oh, well, good that you got to work with that person.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any other thoughts, feelings that you want to share about Barb and Star?
So there is a character, I think it's Damon Wayans Jr., who I love. I feel like his character was so underutilized. Like I wanted more. It was like you saw who it was and it was like, oh, I love his comedy, especially like New Girl, he was wonderful in that. I haven't seen the other TV show that he's in, I think Happy Endings, but maybe I should watch it. And I was like disappointed that he was like in a couple scenes, it was very goofy, and then that was it. And I was just like, wait, there could be more for you to do, but maybe there was, I don't know, maybe there was like scheduling conflict, who knows. Yeah.
Yeah. I did like his character, especially even the best. I feel like one of the best scenes was he was integral in, but he wasn't actually in it. It's where he left the microchip at the door.
The bag
Right.
said everything, including
Right. his height and weight. Right.
Oh, that was a great scene.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the fight scene, of course.
Oh man, that was good. In the middle of the ocean. And then she came back. I was like, if you got stung by all those mosquitoes, you would look pretty terribly compared to like you would look horrible compared to like what she actually looked like when she came back on the beach. But
right. Oh no, I mean the fight scene between Damon Wayans and Jamie Dornan.
Oh yes.
All right. Do you have anything to plug for this episode?
Well, you can like and subscribe to No Movies in Hell right here on YouTube. And you can also watch us on Instagram. We have some really great fun teasers. Do you have anything to plug, Chris?
I do not. Although I am considering, well, we don't have like really funny outtakes. I leave most of the stuff in, but I'm considering like putting some of our outtakes on Instagram just for humor. Yeah, if you could make more mistakes going forward, then we'd have some content for that.
I look forward to that.
Well, thanks everyone for joining, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.